space.
Hey Horror Night fans and Universal fans alike, I'm the Crazy Englishman, and welcome back to another episode of Halloween Horror World, where today we're going to be discussing Face Off in the Flesh, both the maze in Hollywood and the Orlando Scare Zone. Now, first things first, I have to say I'm not overly hyped about this maze, but I'm not disappointed by this maze. And I'll get to those reasons a little bit later, but I think in terms of a maze environment, definitely I could see John Murdy and Chris Williams putting it in the House of Horrors, simply because if you've seen the show Face Off, Syfy's Face Off, which is, for those who don't know, it's a monster makeup competition show where the contestants build their own creatures. The show gives them a subject, and then they create the creatures based on that subject. So this year they're bringing it to a live kind of attraction. Now, this isn't the first time Face Off has been involved with Horror Nights. Just last year, in Universal's Monsters Remix, they actually had one of the competition subject matters was to create an original design for a future Frankenstein monster and Bride of Frankenstein monster, and that would be in the maze. So last year I got to see that, and it was really cool seeing it in person. But this year, John and Chris are taking it up a notch by introducing a maze called Face Off in the Flesh, where they're going to pick some of the scariest concept makeups from the show and putting it into a maze. Now, I think this will be in the House of Horrors, simply because Face Off isn't a location-based show. All the creatures that are shown are on a platform in the studio. They're on a stage. So, to save money and resources, and I think it also so they can use the resources on bigger IPs that are in demand for location type sets for a maze, I think the simplest idea would be to put them in the House of Horrors. Just take out the Universal monsters and replace them with face-off creatures. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing. I know the biggest complaints from a lot of hardcore horror night fans, and I've been guilty of this a couple of times, is saying, well, the House of Horrors never changes. Location-wise, it's boring. And to a degree it is, but it's not John and Chris's fault. There's only so much they could do with an already pre-established year-round maze. But I think putting the face-off creatures in the maze will kind of spruce it up a bit. It's something unexpected. These creatures, apart from being seen on the show, have never been seen in a live environment. So I think this is a great idea to put them in the House of Horrors. It also, for those who've never seen the show, it'll be a nice surprise. They've never seen the show or the concepts of these creatures, so they don't know what to expect. And I think in terms of fear quality, I think it will increase with the addition of these new monsters. So those are just my thoughts on the Hollywood maze. I'm neither disappointed nor overly hyped about it. I think it's a nice surprise. It's like taking the whole bunch of big IPs, like, for example, we got From Dusk Till Dawn, The Walking Dead's coming back. You got these semi-big IPs, and then you got this little makeup show on Syfy, and so it kind of is a nice little surprise into the hat. It's, again, not a disappointing surprise. It's just a very different, very surprising, well, surprise, concept. I didn't see it coming. I have to say that. I didn't see Face Off coming back for another year of Horror Nights in some form, but I'm pleasantly surprised. Let's just put it that way. As for Orlando, they're getting a Scare Zone, and this is not bad. I mean, which means Orlando's got a few other mazes that they have in the works that require the spaces, and in doing so, they've got Face Off out on the streets, which I think is a good environment, because then they can roam around and scare people, and I think you can get a better look at them. Because really, in a maze, it's a one-look kind of thing. You're walking through the maze, the scare actor jumps out, boom, it's over in like a second. So you only get a glimpse. However, in a scare zone, you get to experience the quality that goes into the makeup for these creatures, and I think that would definitely be a contrasting look from maze to scare zone, and you get the best of both worlds in two different events. So I have two groups of people that are going to both events, and I'll be interested to see what they think, because both my correspondents for Hollywood and Orlando love the show. So I'll be interested to see how they react to seeing the show in a live environment. So yeah, those are just my thoughts on Face Off in the flesh. Again, not really hyped, but not disappointed. But what do you guys think? Do you like the concept? Do you like the fact that Face Off is becoming a live attraction in some form, both maze and scare zone? Or don't you like this concept? Feel free to comment below. I love listening to you guys' feedback on these attractions that come out. And yeah, I can't wait to read your comments. If you liked and enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is the Crazy Englishman signing off.